Are you bored with the current state of World of Warcraft?
In the mountain.
Need a new challenge for your class because you're bored? Well, introducing WoW Classic, a hardcore game for those that are dead inside and just want to feel something again.
I'm dead. Oh!
Okay, jokes aside, Classic has been making a massive comeback with a ton of players looking to bask in the glory of a much more simple version of World of Warcraft. Not only is there an interest in vanilla WoW again, but there also seems to be a growing interest in the hardcore community, which is a community-driven project that has a bunch of set rules that I didn't have time to read, but my understanding is if you die, you delete. Now with my Wrath content running dry on YouTube, I figured what the hell, I might as well jump on the gravy train since everyone else is doing it. Now, the first step is to create your character, and I should tell you ahead of time that I'm no stranger to Classic WoW. In Classic, I played as an elemental shaman pretty competitively, and I was known mostly in the PvP community for going around and one-shotting people. In Psalm, I also played as a shaman, but I wasn't really known for anything because that shit got boring quick. So naturally, I gravitate towards the shaman, and I figured that class would be my best chance of reaching 60 without dying. Also, shamans just have a ton of utility and are all around a pretty good class. The first thing I noticed logging on besides being monitored by the NSA was just the sheer number of players that were currently in the starting zone coming back to Classic. Like this actually felt like when Classic was released. People fighting for tags, waiting for items to respawn, and the one I don't really understand is waiting for 30 minutes in a line to kill a named mob at level 3 when you can just go kill 4 boars for the same experience. The first few levels are pretty straightforward and easy. You basically just go around killing boars until you're bored. If you die here, you probably should question your decision to play hardcore in the first place because it's not going to get any easier. I was also invited to my first guild, which I don't really understand the point of having a guild in hardcore because you're not allowed to group up with anyone, and most people die before you can even do the first dungeon. I guess there's always the social factor and the solace of someone being there for you when you inevitably die. At level 5, you can pick up professions and orgs, so I decided to make my way over there. For hardcore, most people either go mining engineering or herbalism alchemy. Both have really strong perks, but I wanted buffs while leveling, so I ended up going with alchemy. Also, don't forget about those secondary professions like first aid, because those can come in handy as well. Back at Razor Hill, I picked up all the quests and decided to start with the Quillboar, and to my dismay, this was actually much more challenging than the starting area, and I could see why a lot of people were dying at level 6 and 7. This was clearly a big jump in difficulty. Once I completed the quest, I headed back to Razor Hill, and that's when it started to happen. Luckily, I survived the purge, and I decided to play it safe for a little bit to work on my professions until the server stabilized. After all, professions do take a lot of time early on to level, so I figured this would be a good use of my time.
You're a piece of shit.
Realizing I had no inventory space, I went back to Org again to buy some bags, considering how unlucky I've been with finding them. Now in hardcore, because there's no ability to trade, finding a bag is like basically finding the Holy Grail. So I talked with Gotchery, he showed me his huge brown sack, and I bought 2 bags from him so I could be on my way. Once I felt comfortable again to go and quest, I headed out, and there was a massive line to kill Lieutenant Benedict that I really didn't want to wait in. So I used my shaman's free front of the line instant ability pass to quickly snipe the kill. For those of you that say this is unfair, I ask you, why wait in a line for a game you're paying for? Once I headed to the Barrens, this is where the game really started to feel like it was coming alive. One of the best things about Hardcore Classic is the open world. Everywhere you go feels like it's lurking with danger. If you take the wrong turn, you end up in a spot where the mobs are much higher level than you, and you end up running for your life. Every mob also presents a new set of challenges, from rooting you in place, to lurking in the shadows just waiting for you to accidentally pull. In the caves and indoor zones, you can no longer just blast through them and simply run away at first signs of danger, so sometimes you need to think creative to get around the obstacles put in front of you. One of the main reasons why the Barrens is such a coveted questing zone is because of how good the quests are, and you can level there from level 11 all the way to level 26. When you get there, you're basically tasked with killing all the wildlife for eating the crops, so I got to work. Quests complete, the crops were saved. I then headed north where I finished off the Harpy Queen Serena and collected Quillboar tusks in the south. I was finally ready for my first dungeon. That would be if I didn't get fucking griefed by a hunter kiting elites into me and then feign deathing so I take the aggro and die. Now, in World of Warcraft, people have been doing this since the beginning of time. From kiting world bosses to cities to dispelling world buffs. Some people just get joy out of others' misery. Luckily for me, there's an appeal system and I quickly got approved. The first instance you can do is Ragefire Chasm, where my friends and I thought it would be a really fun challenge to 3-man it, but to be honest with you, this was still a really easy dungeon. And the closest thing that I got to death was a friend daring me to jump into the lava.
No, wait, what if it's not a few hundred? What if it's like 600?
I'm gonna laugh so hard if you just get one shot.
You're gonna fucking die, dude.
Oh my god.
Back in the Barrens, there's a strange power lurking in the Oasis, where this dude basically sends you on an expedition to go swimming, plant seeds, and kill turtles. You take this information back to Rune Totem in Thunderbluff, and he tells you he's been dreaming about a cult of Sneck Druids, and he thinks that they're hiding in the caverns and tasks you with purging it. For your efforts, you're offered the best pre-level 30 staff, which is also basically BIS for shamans and warriors. So why did I just tell you all of this? Because you don't want to be this guy.
What quest is that? I don't have it. Motherfuck, dude.
After receiving the worst possible loot from the last boss and waking Gnarlex, I headed back to Thunderbluff to claim my prize. But seriously, what is this garbage? You get better shoulders from doing the glowing shard quest and they're green. Once I got my crescent staff, leveling became a lot easier. My next goal was to hit level 30 because this is when shamans get Wind Fury and the game starts to become really fun. Speaking of fun, I think possibly the best part of this game is just trolling with your friends while leveling and waiting for spawns. If you haven't tried this yet, I would highly recommend it. Anyways, give me a fat beat to level 2. That's right. I had died just as I hit level 30 doing the Hecular Rod quest trying to kite Yetis. Right when you get Wind Fury, and right when the game starts to get fun for shamans. You know, there's lots to learn in death. When you're put in an uncomfortable situation and your flight senses kick in, and you tend to forget your surroundings and focus on one thing and one thing only. Running. Should I have listened to my friends and avoid this quest line, knowing damn well where it leads? Could I have maybe gone Ghost Wolf or hit a fat frost shock on a guard to get away? I guess we'll never know. But if there's one thing I do know, we go again. Hey, thanks for taking the time to watch my YouTube video. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. My next video will most likely be around ideas for Classic Plus, if they ever make it, that is. Peace.